Hello, Hamilton. Today is Monday, March 23rd, and I'm really glad you're back with me to read another story. I hope you had an awesome weekend. Maybe you got to play outside a little bit. I hope you got to do something fun with your family. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our story. Our story for today is a really good book. This story is called Thunder Cake, and it's written by Patricia Polacco. So let's go ahead and get started. On sultry summer days at my grandma's farm in Michigan, the air gets damp and heavy. Storm clouds drift low over the fields. Birds fly close to the ground. The clouds glow for an instant with a sharp, crackling light, and then a roaring, low, tumbling sound of thunder makes the windows shudder in their panes. The sound used to scare me when I was little. I loved to go to Grandma's house. Babushka, as I used to call my grandma, had come from Russia years before. But I feared Michigan's summer storms. I feared the sound of thunder more than anything. I always hid under the bed when the storm moved near the farmhouse. This is the story of how my grandma, my babushka, helped me overcome my fear of thunderstorms. Grandma looked at the horizon, drew a deep breath, and said, "This is thunder cake baking weather, all right. Looks like a storm coming to me." "Child, you come out from under the bed. It's only thunder you're hearing," my grandma said. The air was hot, heavy, and damp. A loud clap of thunder shook the house, rattled the window, and made me grab her close. "Steady, child," she cooed. "Unless you let go of me, we won't be able to make a thunder cake today." "Thunder cake?" I stammered as I hugged her even closer. "Don't pay attention to that old thunder, except to see how close the storm is getting. When you see the lightning, start counting, real slow. When you hear the thunder, stop counting. That number is how many miles away the storm is. Understand?" she asked. "We need to know how far away the storm is so we have time to make the cake and get it into the oven before the storm comes, or it won't be real thunder cake." Her eyes surveyed the black clouds away off in the distance. Then she strode into the kitchen. Her worn hands pulled a thick boot from the shelf above the wood stove. A thick book from the shelf above the wood stove. "Let's find that recipe, child," she crowed as she lovingly fingered the grease-stained pages to a creased spot. "There it is, thunder cake." She carefully penned the ingredients on a piece of notepaper. "Now let's gather all the things we'll need," she exclaimed as she scurried toward the back door. We were by the barn door when a huge bolt of lightning flashed. I started counting, like Grandma told me to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the thunder roared. 10 miles. It's 10 miles away, Grandma said as she looked at the sky. "About an hour away, I'd say. You'll have to hurry, child. Gather them eggs careful like," she said. Eggs from mean old Nellie Peckhen. I was scared. I knew she would try to peck me. "I'm here. She won't hurt you. Just get them eggs," Grandma said softly. The lightning flashed again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I counted. 9 miles, Grandma reminded me. Milk was next. Milk from old Kit Cow. As Grandma milked her, Kit Cow turned and looked mean right at me. I was scared. She looked so big. Zip went the lightning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I counted. Baroom went the thunder. 8 miles, child, Grandma croaked. Now we have to get chocolate and sugar and flour from the dry shed. So they're living on a farm, and they're getting their ingredients from the different places on the farm, which is pretty cool. Different than how we get our food. I was scared as we walked down the path from the farmhouse through tangleweed woods to the dry shed. Suddenly, the lightning split the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I counted. Boom, ba-boom! Crashed the thunder. It scared me a lot, but I kept walking with Grandma. So even though she's scared, she's still doing what she needs to do with her grandma. Another jagged edge of lightning flashed as I crept into the dry shed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I counted. Crackle, crackle, boom, kaboom, the thunder bellowed. It was dark, and I was scared. I'm here, child, Grandma said softly from the doorway. Hurry now, we haven't got much time. We've got everything but the secret ingredient. Wonder what that secret ingredient will be. 3 overripe tomatoes and some strawberries, Grandma whispered as she squinted at the list. I climbed up high on the trellis. That's this structure right here that the tomatoes grow on. It's called a trellis. I climbed up high on the trellis. The ground looked a long way down. I was scared. I'm here, child, she said. Her voice was steady and soft. You won't fall. I reached 3 luscious tomatoes while she picked strawberries. Lightning again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I counted. Kabang, boom, room, the thunder growled. It's getting close. We hurried back to the house in the warm kitchen, and we measured the ingredients. I poured them into the mixing bowl while Grandma mixed. I churned butter for the frosting and melted chocolate. Finally, we poured the batter into the cake pans and put them into the oven together. Lightning lit the kitchen. I only counted to 3, and the thunder rumbled and crashed. 3 miles away, Grandma said, and the cake is in the oven. We made it. We'll have a real thunder cake. Wonder what makes it a thunder cake. As we waited for the cake, Grandma looked out the window for a long time. Why, you aren't afraid of the thunder? You're too brave, she said as she looked right at me. I'm not brave, Grandma, I said. I was under the bed, remember? But you got out from under it, she answered. And you got eggs from mean old Nellie Peckhen. You got milk from old Kick Cow. You went through Tangleweed Woods to the dry shed. You climbed the trellis in the barnyard. From where I sit, only a very brave person could have done all those things. I thought and thought as the storm rumbled closer. She was right. I was brave. Brave people can't be afraid of a sound, child, she said, as we spread out the tablecloth and set the table. When we were done, we hurried into the kitchen to take the cake out of the oven. After the cake had cooled, we frosted it. Then the lightning flashed, and this time it lit up the whole sky. Even before the last flash had faded, the thunder rolled, boomed, crashed, and boomed just above us. The storm was here. Perfect, Grandma cooed. Just perfect. She beamed as she added the last strawberry to the glistening chocolate frosting at the top of our thunder cake. Looks delicious. As rain poured down on our roof, Grandma cut a wedge for each of us. She poured us steaming cups of tea from the teapot. When the thunder roared above us so hard it shook the windows and rattled the dishes in the cupboards, we just smiled and ate our thunder cake. From that time on, I never feared the voice of thunder again. The end. All right, I hope you enjoyed that story. I really liked it. I liked kind of how the grandma helped the little girl to realize she didn't have that much to be afraid of. So here's our literacy challenge for today. I hope you're ready for it. I was hoping that you could think back about this story, Thunder Cake, that you just heard. And I was wondering if you could go through it 2 times and talk about the things that happened in it. The first time I was thinking, what if you try and say or write a retell of the story? Every single thing that you can remember that happened from the story. And if you need to go back to hear it again, that's fine too. A retell includes all the parts of the beginning, everything that happened in the middle. So you'd say she went to the kick cow, she went to the mean old hen, she went to the top of the tomato trellis. Everything you would list that she did in the story. Then, when you're done with your retell, I want to see, can you try and write or say a summary? A summary is a lot shorter than a retell. Retell can be really long because it has all those details, but a summary is really short. A summary is where you just say who the character was, where they were, what happened in the beginning, middle, and end. So it shouldn't be that long, maybe 4 or 5 sentences. So instead of saying she went to the kick cow, she went up the tomato trellis, she went in the woods, you could just say she got the ingredients, right? That summarizes all of those steps into one sentence. So I'm even helping you out a little bit with it. So that's your challenge for today. Can you first retell the story? Everything that you can remember. Second, can you summarize the story? Just list the important things that happened in the story. If you need to hear it again, that's totally fine. If you can only do one of those things, that's fine too. Just try and take some time and think back about what happened in that story. I hope you have a wonderful day today, Hamilton. Know that your teachers miss you so much, and I'm looking forward to reading another story with you tomorrow. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.